Good morning, everybody. This is Certrec Corporation, and just want to welcome everybody to our webinar today. Your speakers today are Holly Haynes, who is also with Certrec. She is the operations manager in our Office of NERC Compliance. That's what ONC stands for. Holly manages our technical resources in supporting our NERC clients. And my name is Chip Perkins. I'm the Business Planning Executive Director. I'm responsible for strategic planning and all business development for Certrec. So our intention today is to do two things. Talk a little bit about Certrec, only from the standpoint of giving a foundation and some background for our presentation today. And most of our time is going to be dedicated for our NERC web-based tools, and we call those RegSource GRC and Recall GRC. We'll explain what that means, but I'll first state that GRC stands for Grid Reliability and Compliance. So these tools are specifically targeted for the NERC regulatory framework and those who are concerned about that. So just to give you a little bit of a background on Certrec, we were founded in 1988, so we've been in business for over 30 years. We are regulatory compliance experts that help utilities manage the regulatory process to their advantage. And we work primarily in the nuclear and in the NERC regulatory compliance arenas. We have 60 regular employees and another 65 associates. So that provides us a tremendous pool of resources. We've got great technical expertise in the realm of NERC regulatory compliance. Our employees have more than 1,200 cumulative years of regulatory and industry experience. And as I will mention and detail in this presentation, we have substantial IT, online technology, and cybersecurity capabilities. We are your advanced web-based technology experts. We manage over 4 terabytes of industry regulatory data and information. We have contracts with all U.S. nuclear utilities, and we have clients in every NERC region throughout North America. And just as an item of interest, we've been expanding our training offerings through effective use of videos for just-in-time training concepts. From the standpoint of data integrity and security, we have cyber credentials which are really unsurpassed, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about those in the next couple of slides. We believe we're the only vendor in this arena that has these credentials. We think that's very important. So first, Certrec has an ISO IEC 27001-2013 certification. So what exactly does that mean? ISO means International Standards Organization. It is an internationally recognized standard that encompasses a best suite of practices. And in this framework, an organization identifies and analyzes and addresses its business risks and cyber and physical security risks that are related to those business risks. And down the left-hand side of your slide, you'll see about a dozen specific control objectives. In other words, these are the specific areas that are encompassed by our ISO certification. So there's security policy, there's the organization of information and the security of that information. It's how we manage our assets. It's human resources security, the background checks that we do, the kinds of employees that we hire, our physical and environmental security, and so on and so forth. You can get the idea that it's a pretty comprehensive suite of areas in which we do. And there's a lot of work that goes into getting this certification. The certification is obtained and maintained through an ongoing third-party audit and verification. And you can see up here that we actually use Shellman to do that certification, and they are an internationally recognized organization in this arena. So finally, the ISO certification gives you the confidence that the security of your data and information has been addressed and implemented, and it is secure. You have confidence in your data and in your information. And so as a companion to our ISO certification, we also have a SOC 2 Type 2 examination. Our documentation, management, and regulatory services are examined against trust services principles, that's security, availability, and confidentiality. And we are committed to maintaining our SOC 2 Type 2 examination, and so we get that refreshed every year. Again, fairly significant effort that we have gone through to demonstrate to all of you how seriously we take the security of the information, sometimes your information, that we manage. So let me summarize this in what I would characterize as Certrec's strategic advantages in the technology arena. We are a combination company that have regulatory expertise and state-of-the-art online solutions. What that means is the technology solutions that we build and derive and implement for our customers, we do in the context of knowledge that we have. So we are building applications for which we have personal knowledge. Now, our company has as a very targeted focus on NERC compliance, and we've been involved in that arena since the NERC standards were designed back in 2006. So we have a very strong and experienced team. And as I mentioned, we have extensive online capabilities. So all of our applications are web-based solutions or SaaS, software as a service. And all of our applications, all of our data are located on our servers in a production facility. It's in a co-location facility in Dallas, Texas. So we own the servers. They are separated from everyone else's. They're in a world-class production facility in Dallas, Texas with backup power, backup connection to the internet. They're protected from natural disasters, flooding, etc. And with that, we put a lot of effort into a high level of reliability. So some of your primary web companies, such as Amazon, etc., go for 3 nines. That is 99.9% availability. They would only be down for, let's say, maybe an hour a year or so. Our target is 5 nines of availability, 99.999, which means that we would potentially only be down for a few minutes a year. And the way we handle our maintenance and the way we handle updates to our applications are done in such a way that there's really no visible impact on our users. So in other words, when you need your Certrec applications, they're there. There's no software to download, no license fees. Our applications, because they're web-based, are always up to date for all of our users. And there's no network conflicts. Someone doesn't implement something else on your network that suddenly becomes in conflict with our applications. We have absolute state-of-the-art architecture and our suite of online solutions. We have a suite of a variety of online solutions to solve your technology problems. And today our intention is just to focus on 2 of those, RegSource GRC and Recall GRC. So at this point, I'm going to talk about RegSource GRC, Grid Reliability and Compliance. Holly will be participating in this because, again, she's a technical expert. So RegSource GRC really has to do with getting you news and current events. And you can look at the website each day, or actually all of us, we get an email, and you can get an email each day as well with the current news, with announcements, with meetings that are coming up. In other words, you'll never miss a major event or activity or a change in regulations and standards with RegSource GRC. New information is put out each day, and it's customizable in its presentation and format. And that, of course, is a distinct advantage of Certrec. All of our applications are highly customizable.
Yeah, so as Chip alluded to, smart notices are written by our NERC experts daily that emphasizes important activities in the NERC industry. For example, lately we have written several related to the COVID-19 pandemic. You can go out there and see what we've put out. Emails obviously are sent out every day, as he alluded to as well. And we put out notices on important FERC orders, summaries related to new standards and requirements that are put out, and other important items such as the Align project that's been going on. We also have a data team that posts industry news daily. They'll go out each morning and search for any renewable type things, anything in the industry related to energy. It's not just NERC related news. So all of that is put out as well.
And now that we're on the home page, which provides a summary presentation of RegSource GRC, Holly, why don't you go ahead and talk about that for a second, some of the specifics here on the home page.
Obviously on the top is just your normal standard navigation, where you can go out and just look at the smart notices, the announcements, which we'll get into some of this as we go through the slides, the NERC news, which is, again, just industry-specific news. It's not just related to NERC. The subscription page is how you navigate through your subscriptions. You can put out specific subscriptions to what you want to see so that you're not looking at everything that comes out. You can hone in on regions, ISO RTOs, things like that. You can set up specific subscriptions to what you want to see. And again, we'll get into this as we flip through these slides. And then there on the left-hand side, right down there, that's specific announcements that Certrec puts out. And again, we'll get through this as Chip flips through. And then on the right, again, recent activity that's been put in, and then you can search your smart notices.
Let me also mention, too, you see the yellow television set up here in the upper right-hand corner. Whenever you see that on Certrec's applications, it is a link to a Certrec TV video, which is a short 2 or 3 minute video clip that can give you an explanation, in this case, how RegSource GRC works and how you can use it to your advantage. So instead of having to read some boring desktop guide, you get to watch some some really nice talking head, and we've got some pretty nice ones at Certrec who, in a very informative way, can help you navigate. We also have this feature down at the bottom, Certrec Support Chat. We have a support group at Certrec, and they are certainly award-winning with regard to our clients with the kind of support that they can provide. So that's the home page. All right, so here, this is Certrec Smart Notices. These will be in chronological order. So as you click this tab right here, you'll come to this page. It's chronological and fully searchable. And Smart Notices are Certrec notices, and they'll include any NERC announcements and other activities going on in the industry. Here's one where Certrec is to present a webinar on March 25th at 10 a.m. to provide an overview of electronic document libraries, recall, and RegSource GRC. How about that? And then you can do some filtering here on the right. And by that is you can do some searching. You can search down to find specific ones.
So these are the smart notices that I mentioned before that our experts write. So to expand, all of these, again, are searchable by title and summary. So if you want to search, for example, on SIP-related smart notices, you can do that. If you want to search for just PRC5 related smart notices, you can do that. You don't have to just scroll through the whole list looking for things. You can hone in on exactly what you want to look for, because we keep everything that we put out there. Whatever it is, we have everything. We keep everything. You also have the ability to search by regulatory area, which means you can search by NERC, FERC, all the regional entities, ISO, RTOs. We tag each smart notice that we post with that regulatory area, giving you the ability to search accordingly. We also tag everything by a specific functional area and specific topic. So that means that you can search by, say, a lessons learned, a bulletin, a standard. So if a standard was posted, say, a SIP2, that's tagged accordingly. The same as, say, a lessons learned. We have a huge list of what those are. When you go create your subscription, you can see how we tag those. So everything is completely, fully searchable based on those areas.
This is a great repository of information, and a repository that you can go back to find something that you think you remember or you remember, and you can do the search. But it's important to understand that you don't ever have to go to the particular website, because RegSource GRC is set up so you get an email every morning. And as I say, many of us rely on those emails. So you'll find out about all this information. But if you remember something on Friday that you think you saw on Monday, you can go back here and do a search for it. Now, also very important for me to mention that we go out every day to all the entities, all the legal areas. We go to NERC, we go to all the regional entities, we go to the RTOs, ISOs, and get the information that's needed to keep this up to date. So we're searching all those websites and pulling from those websites this key information, and we're sending it to you in email each day. This repository of information is available if you want to go search for something in the future. It's going to be available probably longer than all of us are. So here we talk about announcements. These are primarily Certrec announcements. They're chronological here on the right. You've got the filter option so you can do some searching. You got your standard navigation up here. You got a Certrec TV video. You can connect with the support group to have a chat if for some reason there's something that you don't understand or need help with.
These are the Certrec business-specific announcements. So anything that we want to share with you that's happening within our business. For example, on March 17th, we shared that we were open for business after this COVID-19 stuff took place. We wanted you to know that we were still open for business, still in production, doing what we normally do. We share any heads up webinars that we're going to do and put out for you to be a part of. We share all of those there. We want to give you the details about what we're going to be sharing with you. All that information is in this section.
The next page is for this tab, and although the tab calls it NERC News, it's really NERC and industry news. We list the major items here on the right and in a chronological order, and you're able to do filtering or searching here on the left. And then finally, with regard to subscriptions, when you press this link, you really only see right here this on the page. But if you press Create New Subscription, this will appear on the right. And although you can't see it, this information scrolls down below the bottom of the page so that you can see just a ton of areas that you can select. You can either select everything or just some things. Subscription means an email that comes to you on a regular basis. It can come daily, weekly, monthly. you can set up multiple subscriptions so that you get a daily with everything on it, but a weekly with just a few selected things. So there's a lot of granularity, a lot of customization that you can do.
I'll just mention that when we first set you up with your subscription to RegSource GRC, the internal support team sets up your initial subscription with access to FERC, NERC, the regional entity or entities, and ISO RTOs that you are currently associated with. And then after that, you can set up your own subscription, allowing you to really drill into what exactly you want to see from a smart notice perspective. If you really only want to see smart notices for, say, CERC or MRO, you can do that. You can set up multiple subscriptions, allowing you to get different emails with a wide range of options to see different things in your email. So if you only want to see smart notices for, say, standards, you can get an email for that. If you want to see an email for lessons learned, you can get an email for that. The options are really endless for what you want to see.
Next, we're going to go to Recall GRC. So as I mentioned, RegSource GRC, you can think of that as your daily newspaper or online news, although it's much more than that. It's a regular reporting of events and activities. Recall GRC is a repository of regulatory standards and requirements. And it's a comprehensive library that is available 24/7 anywhere that you can access the internet, and it's fully searchable. And you have all NERC-related documents in one place. So we hear from individuals out in the industry that it is burdensome to try and go out to the individual websites. And it's not just NERC, but it's 6 regions, all the RTOs, all the ISOs. There's other organizations beyond that. We go out daily to all those websites, pull up the new documents, and place them in Recall. It's updated every 24 hours, so you just have to go to one place. And there's search capability, so you can find anything very easily. Here's the home page for Recall GRC. We've got the standard navigation up here on the left. You've got your Certrec TV video on the right for help. You can contact support. If you have a question and there's no question you can't ask those folks, they're customer service friendly. If you go to conferences with our clients and talk with them and somebody asks a question, how do you get help? People will laugh. They'll say, contact support at certrec.com. They'll be able to help you. So we use kind of a question and answer format. What would you like to do today? Drill down into specific documents. Do you want to just see what's new? We have a document library drill down over here and a search library over here. When you want to go back, you can press these buttons.
The main point here is that we've tried to do a good job of mimicking the way the NERC and regional entity and ISO RTO sites are set up to make it easy to find documentation. And we set it up in a drill down setup so that it's easy for you to find documentation. If you click on standards, then it gives you a whole other list of options. It's easy to understand, easy to find documentation that very much mimics how the other sites are set up, so that when you go find things on a regional entity site, it mimics how it's set up on Recall, so that you don't have to go hunt and find information. It's very similar, but it's all in one location.
All of these topics on the left just show how we've organized everything, and each of these are hyperlinks. As you click on them, they'll drill down further and further into those areas. Or you can do searching on those documents over here on the right. So this is now document drill down, but we want to talk about what's new.
Our data team manually goes out each day and pulls all of the new documentation that has been updated that day. And so every day that what's new lets you know what is new from the day before. So you're not going out and hunting to find out, well, is anything new? Is there any new documentation? Because that what's new tab tells you what's new from the previous few days. It's an easy place for you to find out what's new in the industry. For example, ERCOT protocols, things like that. That's going to tell you what's new.
The next page is where you land when you want to do a full-text search. And you can see all the individual sites, regional entities, plus ISOs, RTOs, NERC is over here. CERC is listed here. They're all listed down on the left-hand side. The page scrolls way down further below, and you can do a very complex search. You can do any of the words, all the words, exact phrase, Boolean. We have all kinds of cool searching. If you're not sure how all this works, just click Need Help. And there's a really nice descriptor screen that comes up to explain how to do almost Google level of searching of the entire database Now you'll notice down below here, I took these screenshots off of my own Recall GRC, and these were some searches I had done previously. Generator testing nuclear exemption, because a question had been raised about that. And it will list the last 10 searches that you made. A lot of times when you search for something once, you search for it again and again. The next is going to my favorites. So you can have your favorite records, your favorite full text files, your favorite news. In other words, if you do searches, you can star some of those documents and you can develop them into a search group. So let's say there's a certain group of standards on CAISO that you just regularly need. You can develop your own focused search group and save those. You can title them. So what I have listed here are favorite records. You've got a title for them, there's a summary, and all of the files are included with that. Here is one for FERC orders and rules, and here are the individual documents that are a part of that. You can do that for records, full text files, or favorite news.
I see this as being a good thing for saving favorite standards, any protocols, regional criteria that may be updated on a routine basis that you can star and save.
The objective here is to save you time and effort and be sure that records and standards, specific things that you go to regularly are right at your fingertips. When some executive asks you a question or you hear something out in the industry and wonder if that applies to your specific circumstances, you can go in and do some complex searches and bring up the standards that apply to that situation. No fumbling around at multiple websites. Everything is in one place, easily searchable, easily recoverable because you can tag that and list it in your favorites and have that available in the future. We find that there are companies out there that range from small companies that have a few assets for whom we provide their entire NERC compliance program to major investor-owned utilities that have well-developed and very capable NERC regulatory resources. But sometimes even those capable resources become overwhelmed with emergent activities, like dealing with COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. So we, Certrec, integrate all the necessary information into one searchable location where it's easy to find stuff, easy to navigate, and easy to recover things that you have found previously. So the reality is we've got electronic tools to make your job easier. We've got the experience and expertise to augment that and assist if you need it.
Is this part of the standard Certrec software, or is it like an additional module? Is this an additional module for the NERC compliance?
These are being provided as an additional module. And thank you for mentioning that. The way these modules are provided, the way we handle this is there is a one-time moderate setup fee, and then we charge an annual subscription. And that annual subscription covers everything. There are no fees for downloading software to your desktops because it's not software. It all operates on our servers. All you need is access to the internet. This is provided on an annual subscription basis, either RegSource GRC or Recall GRC, or the two of them together. Now, I did want to say that our ongoing program management clients have access to these applications right now. They're being provided to our ongoing clients for at least the next year, cost-free. And that's all described in your proposals and contract documents. So ongoing program management clients already have access to this. And those are the companies for which we generally provide their complete NERC regulatory compliance program. There's really no limit to the number of users that we can have. We currently have tens of thousands of users on our system, considering we support the entire nuclear industry and have a broad range of clients on the non-nuclear side. Everything operates off of our production servers in a co-location facility. We are constantly monitoring stress on those servers. We keep a very large margin to a stressful situation. Our IT team can take actions to add additional server capability or even additional servers. Our servers are virtually backed up at our co-location facility, and then we actually have backups that are outside of that co-location facility. And that's one reason why we have been able to achieve such high levels of reliability. If you have any questions or follow-up, you can always contact support@certrec.com. And our speakers today were Holly Haynes. Holly's the operations manager for our Office of NERC Compliance. She's the brains and the brawn. And I am Chip Perkins, with that, we will close out our conference for today. Just want to express appreciation to everybody for joining us. I know times are difficult right now. We're all under a lot of stress and pressure. We appreciate all of your efforts to help maintain the reliability of the local electric system, very critical in this particular day and age with the challenges we face. That is the end of our presentation. Feel free to contact us if you have more questions or comments. Thank you very much. That's the end of our conference.